Hello, hello, hello. It's me, the Dungeon Slime, once again here to entertain you, the human beings of the world. Now, of course, I was supposed to close this wee picture of the books, but, you know, oopsie daisy. Let's just do that now. So yeah, how's everybody doing? Seeing as there's nobody here, I presume pretty well. Everyone's partying on their Sunday morning, afternoon, Saturday evening. Could it still possibly be Saturday evening anywhere? Maybe. Maybe. Probably not. I mean, it is noon now. I'm still having all kinds of jazz figuring out the face tracking and eyes of the eyes of this model. I've got very small eyes, you see, being a slime in the real fleshy world. So those tend not to work perfectly well, but I'm still trying to figure that out. You know, trying to get what setup works properly. So yeah, hoping you're all good. Ooh, change that to all chat. There we go, just in case. You never know. We're going to be able to see you people if you do speak, or we wouldn't want to miss anything. No one wants to miss anything. So, yeah, the objective today is to test some more bits and pieces. Get more used to doing this kind of streaming thing, because you know, I've only got so much time when the dungeon master isn't staring over my shoulder and telling me to go out and forage among the human realm and all that kind of stuff. So I need to get to planning. Yeah, so here I am. I've snuck into the master's very nice library slash lounge. You know, he likes to maintain this wonderful presence where he gets to bring captives and generals and other dungeon lords from other places and brings them around and they all have a good bit of fun, right? You know what they're like, those there dungeon lords. So let's so the objective for today was to start mapping out an adventure, right? So I have some plans. They're very rough plans. They're not very good plans. They're not very fluffed out plans. Because again, look, I'm the dungeon slime. The lowest of the low here in the dungeon. I get beaten up by the wee insects. They get to tell me what to do. You know, kobolds ought to be a kobold. I dream of being a kobold. Maybe one day I'll become a gelatinous cube. Gelatinous cube? Yes, a cube, and go through the dungeons, cleaning everything up and keeping it nice and tidy. Well, that's why the dungeon lords have them. You see, keeps everything nice and tidy. So, first of all, I was going to show you some bits and pieces, some of the assets that I'm going to be trying to use. So this is why I've not been able to keep up with all the little humans on threads for the past kind of hour or so, is that I've been faffing about and getting this rig all set up. Now I'm expecting to go for about an hour and a half before I run away crying to myself due to, you know, being an abject failure at life. So first off, you may go away. I think they all know they're not wanted here. I need to stand up and turn this on because you know, it's going to be exciting. Oh, there you go. What a face to leave you on there. What a face to leave you on. So let's go to the physical products first. So this is the most exciting thing. Because this is the thing which is invariably gonna not work. So, yeah, okay, this is typical. What's going on here? Okay, well that's not working because of course it's not. It's working over here. Is it working? Because the problem is now. Let's do that. And of course, the command to make it work is underneath here. So. No, no, it's not doing it. It's well, that's ruined this entire idea. Well, it was working like literally. I tell you, I'm not lying. Not a word of a lie. This slime doesn't lie, right? This thing was working just 10 minutes ago. And now it's not. Now it's not working. Now it's not working at all. Well, that's a nuisance, eh? So it's working there. Stop it, and let's just close the application. Yes, closed it. It's just fine. Everything's fine. Don't worry. Everything's perfectly fine. Maybe my phone's overheated and it stopped working properly. That one. Connect. Let's see. Oh, there we go. Now you get to see all parts of my scuffed stuff that you weren't supposed to. Had it all perfectly set up. It was all really nice and all the rest of it. But, you know, technical difficulties. Oh, and now fucking audio's enabled on here as well. Oh, I swore. Sorry about that. Let's get this straightened up again. We're just going to have to live with it a little bit. We only have to live with it for a few moments, I suppose. Oh, look at that. You're completely off canter now. It's all that panicking that happened there. Oh, why did it stop working? Nobody knows. This is why I hate technology. You humans, you love your technology. Me, can't stand it. There we go. Anyway, physical products that I'll be having a wee look at whilst doing this. OSC, Advanced Fantasy, just for really the monster blocks, to have a wee idea about what kind of beasties you're going to be fighting in this dungeon. And it will be a dungeon adventure. Come on, I'm a dungeon slime. That's inevitable. So again, kind of OSR style, of course. So you know, you humans don't need a break. You can come here and really get a duff it up. So that's really good. Really like this book. Fantastic. If you don't have it and you do old stuff, what's going on? Where have you been for the past, I don't know, 2 years, 3 years? This is the book to do stuff. It is only BX though, and I'm kind of a Beck Me fan. As you know, I wish to ascend to being a greater slime, preferably to being some kind of deity slime. I mean, us slimes have so few of the problems that you human peoples have. Now, I tell you what I'm going to end up finding out. I'm going to end up finding out that... Oh, hey, I forgot to turn on the music, because I was going to say there was going to be some of this, this wee vaporwave, synthwave in the background for now, because I'm not doing dungeony stuff. Hopefully that's coming through, and it's not too overly loud. Maybe I'll... Yeah. So this is saying it's a royalty-free, copyright-safe music. So I've put the wee link in the bottom. Let's hope. If not, it's not. I also signed up to one of you peoples that is on Threads, and I joined their thing. Anyway, oh no, I've closed the thingy, so of course the video stopped working. Let me have a refresh button. Oh no, yeah, oh yeah, okay, right, good, we're back. This plugin, not great. If I start enjoying doing this as a dungeon slime, I will probably get some more functional equipment. But for now, scuff, pure, unadulterated scuff, 24/7, 7 days a week. I mean, I said 24/7, which is clearly 7 days a week. On my planet, there's 8 days a week. So there you go, 20-hour days. It's very exciting. Other thing I've got is this bestial ecosystem. So I think one of the most important things when you're looking at dungeon adventures is every floor needs to have a few different interesting things going on, and factions are kind of an essential component of that. So we'll have like probably 3 factions, I think. So yeah, we'll figure out whose votes are going to be. And this is a really cool book for that. So it's very interesting. It's kind of got a very system agnostic view of various monsters and denizens and other such things. And then it kind of tells you, gives you rumours, tells you about alternative versions of it that might exist, and that allows us to have some kind of interesting flavour to our universe, which goes above and beyond what you'll normally find in like a setting like Mithras or Eberron or Forbidden Realms. And it stopped again. I can see, you see. Fresh. Yeah, there we go. This is going to have to change, isn't it? It's just not the one. So I'm currently using Video Ninja. I think actually it's really, my phone's overheating. So anyway, we'll get through this part in a few more seconds. The other one is Artificers, Deceptions and Dilemmas. This book just gives us interesting views on different rooms that can exist inside the dungeon or fortress or whatever. I mean, I think when we talk about dungeons, I like to think of a dungeon in these games as anywhere where action happens. So a dungeon can be an actual dungeon, an underground network for mythical underworld, or it could be a castle, it could be a forest, it could be a town, right? Anywhere where your adventurers aren't safe, right? So you've got kind of homesteads, interval travel, and dungeons. Your homestead should always be safe until it's not. Your interval travel is something where random encounters can happen, and the dungeon, of course, is where stuff, that's the meat and potatoes of what we're doing. So yeah, that's that. So these are the physical products I'm using. I'm going to be rolling some dice maybe. I'll use physical dice to do that. You'll just get to hear them because the phone, the video software, bit crap, not really working. So yeah. See, it's already paused again. So we'll knock that one on the head, and we'll get to some other assets. That's shrinky. Bye bye. Let's turn it off so my phone doesn't explode. Because you know, exploding phones not the best. Donk. And you don't want to see that face of me again. Okay, cool. Top bananas. The bonus is that I can now check threads again to see if any humans are alive. But yes, very much so. Oh, so on threads, it's an interesting piece of software. I'm trying to figure out whether or not the best thing to do is to create a thread just for the thing. So like playing in a Shadowrun game, just going, this is the Shadowrun game thread, and then updating that one thread, or whether or not I should start a new post each time. Look at those eyes going wild. I think that's probably something to do with the extra light and it being set to low light version, so let's turn that off. Yeah, whether or not I should start a new thread or just reuse the same thread over and over again for stuff, I'm not sure. We'll see how that plays out in the future, I guess. So yeah, those are the 3 physical books that I'm going to be using. OSE, Advanced Fantasy for Monsters. I flick through the bestial ecosystem every now and again for habitats and what's not. And then Artificers and Dilemmas. So whenever I look down, I close my eyes. So there you go, that's something to bear in mind. Cool. The next things that I'm using are... Let's visit up the Adobe Reader. Hello. It's behind me, that's cool. So, the Beckme basic book, because this is a low level adventure, 1 to 3. We don't really worry about wilderness adventures at this level. But, easy to add, right? Roll every... What is it? Roll once every kind of 6 hours or so. 8 hours, right? So you get 3 of encounter openings per slot, depending, and you know, make your random tables and the rest of it. Next, yeah, so I'm using this. I was going to use the OSE book, but it's the same in this book anyway. So if we go down to, wait for it. So your human equipment, it's nowhere near as good as our magical equipment in there we go. In the dungeon, you see, you've got disk drives and all sorts. So what we want to do here is, the Dungeon Master section. What we're really here for is not the procedures and rules. That should be thinking. Yeah, what we're here for is this one. Right. So what we see here are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 10 seeds. So we're going to roll a dice, and if we like it, we'll go with that seed. If we don't like it, we'll move on. So, those are the 10 things there. So this is one thing we're going to be using, and the other thing is the Tomb of Adventure Design. The Tome of Adventure Design, even. So, just for random tables. This has got lots of them, so we can come up with a name of a dungeon and all the rest of it. And I think, now that I think about it, I should probably have some kind of note taking. There we go, we'll just use Notepad for now. Let's share the Notepad. So this is going to be for just taking notes as we go along for what we're going to do, right? So this is kind of, you get it, you understand. You're a clever human. All you humans are clever. So, window capture. I want to create a new one, so this will be Notepad. Okay. And okay. And we'll stick it in here. Cool. And once it's in that group, it appears. So let me just unlock this for a second. Let's just make it a bit smaller. And we can move that around as required. Close it off. So let's just write some text in here. Make sure that's all working. Hello. Yeah, it's working. Cool. Right. And the last thing that we're going to be using, all kinds of bits and pieces, eh? The last bit we're going to be using, of course, because we're making a dungeon, and it's just going to be kind of a quick bish bash bosh, is we're going to use Dungeon Scroll, because it's it does what it does, and it's not fussy and it's not difficult, and we can quickly draw out the idea of a dungeon. Not quite as quickly and effortlessly as with a bit of paper, but you know, it's something. It's something. So, without further ado, let's get a dice and let's roll on the adventure. See what it comes up with, right? So a D10, 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Visiting a lost shrine. To remove a curse or recover a special item, the party must travel to a shrine which has been lost for ages. They have only a rough idea of the location and may have to consult an oracle or seer during the trip. Oh, that's interesting. That means there are going to be some steps before they actually reach the dungeon. So that's different. Adventure. We can't see that. So Notepad. Donk. It's probably good if I we'll zoom in a bit as well. There you go. That's not how you spell adventure. The adventure. So the adventure is to visit a lost shrine. Location is not certain. The location is not certain. May only have a rough idea. So there's kind of two options here, right? There's either do a hex crawl, possibly in a hex flower. Have you ever seen hex flowers? They're pretty cool. If I do one, I'll show you. I probably will at some point, so I'll show you then. I'm not sure if I'll do it here. This might be, on the way there, be more of a kind of point crawl, maybe. So, you can, if you're going to maybe consult a seer temple or hermit. Maybe one or the other. So the thing to remember about this is this isn't really going to be the main bulk of the adventure, right? But of course, when we visit the seer, so is the seer / hermit good or evil? Let's just work in some binaries for the time being. Not my favourite thing, I'm not going to lie, but we'll do a bit of binary here. So is the seer good or evil? It's interesting because you could turn up. The seer has, or maybe there's a seer and a hermit, and everyone thinks the hermit's evil, the seer is good, and so you go see the seer. But the seer is actually evil, and the hermit is good. So maybe the seer is evil, but everyone thinks they're good, but the hermit is good, but everyone thinks that they're evil, right? Another option, so the evil one will probably lead you down a more difficult route, or they will get us to locate a cursed item and do something. Particularly think, why are we looking for the temple? I think for me the most obvious, and this is kind of the solo thing, right? Why are we looking? It mentioned curses on this little description here. So visiting a lost shrine to remove curse or recover a special item. So I always like to do something like the local lord or lady, assuming we're operating within a feudal structure, and here we will make such an assumption. So why are we looking for the temple? I think removing a curse is cool. Removing a curse that has afflicted the local leaders' children, right? That's where we go. The Lord is gone. I need heroes. We, as a group of befuddled adventurers, sign up. They'll say, go talk to the good seer in the town of Townlington. We can come up with that name at some point. Townlington. It's probably just a hamlet with a temple of some sort. Again, I like pantheons, so there'll be lots of deities, and the temple here will probably be either a specific deity, maybe a multi-deity temple, but it'll probably just be, the seer will be there, some acolytes. I can't remember in Keep on the Borderland. If you've not played it, I won't talk about it, but yeah, there's something going on there with religious sorts. But yeah, Hamlet with a temple of some sort. They are a good person. Let's just say that for now. In town, hear rumours in the village, right? So we head off in village or town, depending on where people look, right? Hear rumours about a twisted hermit that lives in the dark forest. Again, better name later. Right, so at some point they'll make the party will make a decision. They will either go off on their own and try and find it, because parties do that. If they try and find it on their own, let them wander around the area with a 1 in 6 chance each day to find the temple by chance. So a hermit will give them safe route to the temple. The seer will give them a dangerous route to the temple. And dangerous entrance. So if you think about it, the dungeon might have an entrance which is just rats and a disorganized group of kobolds or something like that. Whereas on the side the seer sends you to, maybe there are like full-blown orcs or organized goblins that have got self-defenses or something else low level. Again, this is why we've got books, so if we think about what might be in the temple. So, temples, you normally think undead. There is kind of a problem with undead, which is you can't negotiate with the undead. So it removes a large element of that learning. So it's good to have a area of the dungeon be undead, but I don't think the opening area of the dungeon should be undead. So it should always be something that there's a chance for negotiating with. And if we're going smarter monsters, which we are, I think, that sounds like a good idea, and there's no one here to tell me otherwise, so we'll go with some smart monsters. Do I have a list? Yeah, okay, right, so level 1 monsters. So in level 1 we've got like acolytes, bandits, maybe, yeah, so like on the route there, maybe where some bandits attack. Which may even force the party to just withdraw straight away, right? If we go through this route, right? So we'll be attacked by bandits on the route, and led to a what other first level monsters have we got? Frogs, wild dogs, dwarves. Orcs. I mean, orcs are pretty tasty for a level 1 bad guy. They are bad news. Sturges. Everyone loves Sturges. I don't get it. I hate Sturges. Ah, right. Okay. This is who's there. Troglodytes. I hate troglodytes. To troglodyte. They smell bad. Right? I mean, you think slimes smell bad? You should smell a troglodyte. To a troglodyte enclave. So that's one of them. I think on the other side, the hermit. No, not the hermit's entrance. The entrance, we believe, of the hermit points them to is sparsely occupied by beasts. Right, so we'll have a collection of beasties in here, like beetles and beetles and frogs and dogs. I mean, so the thing about dogs is there is an opportunity there to tame the dog. And in fact, I would always give, when it comes to most beasts, we'll give them an opportunity to tame, right? So, sparsely occupied by beasts, giant rats, beetles, well, dogs, maybe a few wandering kobolds. Yeah, it's crab spiders. That's a bit mean. But maybe we'll throw in a crab spider nest. But the players, the characters are warned to be. Right. Okay. So the hermit will give them a safe route to a temple, so they won't get engaged on the way to the temple. The entrance is sparsely occupied with beasts. I always think it's important in the early part of these dungeons to give the player an award, so that if they have to run away, they will have got something, and some experience, right? Because in basic D&D, gold is everything, right? So it'll be worth having some loot in both of these areas. So the troglodyte area, because the troglodytes have been eating people, because that's what troglodytes do. Horrible creatures, I tell you. All slimy and stinky. Very disagreeable. So, yeah. So yeah, whereas if we go via the hermit straight in, monsters, we've been told about crabs. If the seer tells us, seer will just be like, there's just some, there's probably nothing there. There's probably nothing defending it. Maybe like some goblins. We should also have a little rumour table of true and false rumours. Beware troglodytes. Apparently there's a clan of what? What do we think? Let's look down this list again. So I've got the dungeons level 1 through 3 table here. There is a clan of elves? Ghouls? Ghouls don't really make clans. Yeah, okay, there's like a hobgoblin. An idea that there's a clan of hobgoblins. Hobgoblins in the second level of the dungeon. Some of these are true, some of these are false. So this one we know is true. I don't know whether that one will be true. I'm not a massive fan of puzzles, because I always think with puzzles, who are you really testing? Right, so you're kind of testing the players versus testing the characters. And whilst on the surface of it, puzzles can be great, often they suffer from the same problem that adventure games suffer from, right? Which is when you get like a really well-made adventure game, and you can go from one point to the next point, and all the puzzles they're challenging, but they make sense. That's good. That's good stuff, right? That's fine. 90% of adventure games, from my experience, are just trying to figure out how the game designer was thinking, or more often just mashing things together and hoping that they work. And I often find that is the problem with puzzles in in role-playing games, in dungeons and stuff, because if the players are all on the same level and they all like get it, then it can be really good fun. Whereas if the players aren't, and they're not getting it, then it can be really, really quite demoralising and demotivating, and you end up with a bit of a rubbish session. So I'm not a fan of puzzles. As a player or as a GM, this could be A, I might be really bad at puzzle solving, and B, because of that, I am also bad at making good puzzles, and so I often look for puzzles, but even then I'm like, unless you, because so many of the puzzles just end up being false door or lever puzzles or simple logic puzzles, and whilst I understand that there is an element of fun to be had there, just the character can figure it out, right? The puzzle is like the entire dungeon all together and how you navigate that dungeon. The puzzle isn't, oh, I need to figure out some chess problem in order to get through this door. I mean, it can be fun as a one-off, but I don't do it as a thing. Let's go. There are tricksy kobolds that have cunning trap makers, right? So I like that one. This one's fun. I like traps. Traps are good, but they should always be. This is another thing, right? So when you're talking about old school D&D, and how I always think about it, right? If you're a group of people that are going into a deadly space like a dungeon, right, or an adventure in general, where you're going to be hyper alert, and this is kind of represented by the fact that a turn in OSR, in like BECMI or BX or something like that, is 10 minutes long, right? And on average, your party will move 90 feet in 10 minutes. Right? Why is that? Well, because they're looking at everything. They're trying to not fall over, and they're trying not to get killed by traps. And they're listening all the time. And so I find an awful lot of the mechanics around detecting traps and all the rest of it is a bit silly. Because it's a lot like we were saying, you know, it is at the end of the day a game. And it should be fun. And yeah, the characters are competent, and they're travelling at 90 feet and at every 10 minutes, which is like, you know, 30 meters every 10 minutes. It's not very far. I mean, walk at a normal pace and see how far you go. It'll be further than 30 meters in 10 minutes. So yeah, that's a thing, right? Again, traps. I kind of like. Yeah, characters should almost always notice traps unless they're running, right? Unless they're moving quickly and not paying attention. And you know, your party will only do that so many times before your players will only do that so many times before they go, oh wait a minute. Anyway, that's kind of off-brand, right? So again, yeah, as a wee slime that lives in the dungeons, I can attest to the fact that humans are very good at spotting these traps. At least the ones that you can tell have done it a few times. When someone rocks up with nice new shiny armor and they're all looking clean and none of them smell of feces, they do tend to get skewered by man traps and all sorts. But your average actual adventurer, they're a different breed. So often traps should, either A, they're impossible to detect, or B, they're hindrances that slow a party down, or force a party to take a different route through the dungeon. So back to the point. Yeah, there are tricksy kobolds that are cunning trap makers. So because kobolds are kind of like super weak, them and goblins, right? They make traps. They're clever. So it's just there are a group of orcs called the what? I think there's probably some naming stuff in here. Locations. Let's go here. Right. So warning signs. See, this is cool, right? So this is what this is a really good book, right? So there are like warning signs and all sorts in here. Monsters, monster types, folklore, danger posed by construction. Unusual breath weapons, elements. Yeah, that's. We'll get onto that later. But the monsters in the dungeons are forever evolving, right? So the mythic underworld is locked in a battle both with itself and with the surface. And the deeper you get into the dungeon, the deeper you get into the underworld, the more outrageous some of these things become. And you'll have areas that don't even know that the surface world exists at all, just like conceptually. I wouldn't advise going down there. Dangerous places. I like to stay in the surface of the dungeon, occasionally going up and eating delicious straw. Ooh, yes. So when I was in here to look for, have they got any names for factions? There's probably just a section on factions. For non-dungeon adventure design. Oh no, Control F, factions. It's 514 pages. We'll see if there's anything on factions in here. That's not what I was looking for. Next. Funny. Oh, it doesn't have anything on factions in here. Okay, well that's actually kind of a surprise. Lots of people talk about that. But, okay, cool. Let's zoom out a bit. So there are a group of orcs called the Murorgs who are in a constant conflict with another group of orcs. Skull. The skull. The skull. The skull. The skull. The skull crushes. That's a terrible name. The skull clopses. Skull hands. Right? Stupid name. That's what they're called. Is that true or false? Let's roll a dice. 1 to 3, it's true. 4 to 6, it's false. 1 to 3, it's true. I rolled a 1. So that's true. I think this is false. If you drink from the well below the temple, you will you'll die. There you go. This is false. Players won't know it. They might, so I think there's going to be a well. There should always be a well, at least in a low-level adventure, but gives you some kind of boon. We'll make that later. Well, we'll probably make that another day. We'll see. Of course, check. No, still no visitors. It's okay. You don't feel bad about it. Yeah, just keep on going. That's what we do. And yeah, okay, cool. Right, so if you drink from well, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 5 rumours. the hermit in woods is the one that made the curse on the Lord's children. Yeah. This, of course, is false because we know that it was actually the seer. I always think that one of the important things is that magic is rare in this setting, right? So I'm imagining. Otherwise, you just no alignment. Everyone would have like a no alignment spell, and that would ruin everything. So really, only player parties get access to these spells, or a handful of remarkably notable people. So that gives us. Let's go. There's a dragon. Third layer that loves games. Let's make this true because, right, number one, there should always be a dragon in a dungeon. By and large, at least at low levels, either A, during the adventure they find something that allows them to deal with the dragon, or the dragon can be easily bypassed. Risk reward, right? So this will be kind of like, so if there's a basic adventure, we're on the third level of the dungeon. There is a dragon that likes to talk. As a ref, there's basically a proviso that allows it to be subdued and returned to a group of witches. I've never really, as a GM, I've not refed it with actual players, and I don't know how they'd manage it, but I'm sure players would. I can't think of a way, but I'm sure they would. And also, false, there is a room made of gold on the second floor. Dungeon. Yeah, right. How many we got here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, cool. That's a number. And how a ref gives these out is entirely up to a ref. So I kind of imagine this should only be an hour's worth of play at most here that we've got. So this is kind of a run up to the dungeon. Are we going to do some asking around, find some stuff out? If yes, how do they do it? Doesn't matter. Give them the information. Right, that's kind of my view. If they want to talk to street urchins, they get the information. If they want to talk to bartenders, they get the information. If they talk to priestly individuals, they get the information. It's, you know, I'm free and giving of information. There's no reason to hold it back. The whole idea is to propel the adventure forward, not get hung up on stuff. Cool. So, and we've got a good hermit, and we've got a bad seer, and everything's going to direct them towards the bad seer. But I know players, right? If you're telling players, "Oh, there's an evil hermit," then they're going to go and either A, they're not going to believe you because you're making it so obvious, or B, they're going to go try deal with them. So either way, we're going to go look at the hermit. The hermit will be living in a little hovel. The seer is in the temple in Townlington, and yeah, they'll the hermit will be easy to find. Don't make it a thing. Just be like, okay, you go to the woods. How are you going to find the hermit? Well, we'll look for signs of habitation. Oh, well, you see some smoke in the distance. Oh, well, we'll go to the place with the smoke. And off they go. Or they go, oh, we'll look for tracks. Okay, who's going to look for tracks? Me. I'm a warrior. I use a bow. I am a ranger. Cool. Okay, right. Or in a previous life, I was before I became an adventurer, I was a poacher. Okay, cool. Right. I think that this isn't a thing. It's like, go to the place, talk to the person. Do they believe them? Don't they? Yes, no, don't. Maybe chuck in a quick. We'll chuck in a quick map, but yeah. So that's that. Cool. Let's. So what else do we know? Right. So about the dungeon. First level. Beasts. Not goblins. Kobolds. Troglodytes. Orcs. And so always going to be beasts, right? So giant rats, sturges, crab spiders. I hate sturges. They're such a nuisance. You hang on the ceiling and fall down. Tasty though, delicious creatures. Also bandits. Bandits on the way if they go via the Sears route. Those bandits should probably be kind of tough, right? Because their entire purpose is to murder the adventuring party or adventurers sent out. So there could be like a side thing there. So there's more action on the way to the dungeon site if we go via the bandits. As I've only got dungeon scroll at the moment about, we'll only worry about the drawing the dungeon. But let's say this would be depending on player approach, we can probably quite trusting as they believe in the seer. They may. So a player might be able to spot the ambush coming before it happens. They'll get their normal D6 roll at the start of the fight, but a clever party that has like a scout out ahead of the party clearing the way might detect the ambush early and ambush the ambushers, right? So we'll go like with the ambush. There's like there is 6 bandits, one bandit leader, 2 dogs, right? 2 hunting dogs. 2 hunting dogs. Scale is necessary, right? If the party's got 12 members, then have as many. Scale is necessary. Aim for as many bandits as PCs and henchmen. Cool. So this might force it back, or it might not. We'll see. So, and from this, we'll go, if the players look for the bandits camp, they'll find 2 guards and about 500 gold pieces worth of stuff from other parties that they've killed and robbed, right? Also, maybe some identifying items that will let players inform loved ones in town that of what happened, right? So, you know, different characters will work in different ways, right? Different parties operate in different ways. So there's always throw a bone for being human, because I mean you are human people after all, right? So yeah, and yeah, so that's kind of a setup. I feel like that's a setup. Let me get back up here. So beast, crabs, spiders, wild dogs, fire beetles, oil beetles, lots of beetles, carrion claws, gas spores are funny. Robber flies. Carrion claws. Right. So this is a separate little bit here. So this isn't a dungeon. This is yeah. Awesome. How exciting is that? Super exciting? I hope so. So this is bandits on the evil route. This is dungeon first level possible stuffs. Beasts. We know we've got kobolds. We know we've got troglodytes. We know we've got orcs. Orcs. Possible human slaves. Human, elf, halfling, dwarf, gnome, slaves, animal companions, yeah, animal companions, orc leaders. Probably also goblins. You're not really going to get troglodyte slaves because they're not into that kind of thing. They just try and eat you. Stinky creatures. No one wants to keep a troglodyte around. Not even an orc, right? The orc's like, smell like rotten fish to troglodytes. Probably human, elf, halfling, dwarf, gnome, goblins, goblins. What else we got? No, kobolds. Goblin. Well, because I could count kobolds. Kobolds. Captives for food. Kobolds. They probably don't have anything kind of captive. Companion animals. Kobold king. Yeah. Orcs. So beasts. Kobolds. Probably have companion animals. And kobold king. Maybe a kobold. Shape. Thingy-mig. thingamajig, right? So maybe we'll have like some kind of kobold magic user as well. Again, clever, tricksy people. Even if a wizard is only a wizard. Oh, my tea's gone cold. How awful is that? Tell you one thing I need to check. How much time's left on this? So one thing I need to do is make sure that autoplay is off, because I don't want it to autoplay onto some copyrighted music and then strike squads come storming into my building and throw me into slime jail. That's not for one. Okay. What else we got? Orcs, yeah. Animal companions, orc leaders, possibly a few stronger monsters, like bugbears or gnolls as mercenaries. Maybe, oh yeah, and up here, maybe an ogre. Ogre they've paid. Protection. Cool, right. So the troglodytes don't make friends, right? They're just into the eating and the killing, so they're stinky, super stinky. Orcs, they might have slaves, they could have mercenaries, they've got leaders. Animal companions probably, yeah. There's two factions of them, right? Okay. Kobolds, Kobold King, yeah. Oh, and that takes us. Okay. So with all that, let's move these things around a bit. Down here. Let's bring this up here. Okay, cool. So probably about 30 rooms of floor. Because that's a good number. Again, when it comes to dungeon, why do we dungeon denizens have so many really large rooms underground? And the answer is, we like space. What can I say? You know, unlike you human beings who like to live in tiny little boxes, we love a bit of space. Also, how are we supposed to pile around adventurers when they come in if we only had, you know, small, sensible sized rooms? Ridiculous. So yes, big rooms, 30 of them, 30 or so. And we need to consider I always like to have a number of entry points into the floor from the ground, and of course a number of exit points to the next level of the dungeon. We can also imagine that at the top of the dungeon, we'll have a paper map that has probably an old rundown temple, and it'll have some other, maybe a well that you can get into, maybe some other things, right? A cave network that leads into it, and I think that'll be the thing, right? So the hermit sends you towards a cave network that leads in, whereas the seer leads you directly to the temple, and the temple entrance. We're using troglodytes. Yeah, I mean, let's just give the temple entrance has like it's just a set of stairs down, leads into kind of a catacomby area, and the troglodytes are kind of taken over underneath that. Yeah, that's a mood. I'm not sure if it's a good mood. Maybe the hermit. No, the hermit sends you through some caves near a river, so then it's wet, which makes sense for the troglodytes, right? So that's kind of a cavey entrance. There's the main temple entrance that I think will probably be an exit that the players discover, and then the hermit entrance, which is like a normal, which is like a cave hole in the woods kind of routine. Okay, cool. So that's some ideas, right? So we've got a cave entrance, which is like near a stinky river, a stinky lake, a stinky bog, like a stinky bog, right? And we've got another one that goes in from a nice wee river. We've got another one that comes in from a position in the woods. Anyway, now let's find this. Yes. Right. In that case, right. So we're going. Okay, that's dungeon layout 1. Let's just use this one first. No, let's not use that one. Let's use this one. This one. This one. Yeah, that'll do. So, if we're doing caves, that means we want to use the path tool, turn that off. Yeah, okay. So, we'll have so say this over here is like the cave entrance for the hermit tells us about. Oh my goodness, look at this. Delete layer. Right. So this is one that hermit tells us about. So someone was saying the other day that they feel that that this interface has got a bit too simple, and I am prone to agree with them. But that's not the subject for today. So that's for hermits, the way in, and then we'll go kind of over here, maybe, and we'll go. Right, this is the seer's entrance. What I think we'll end up doing is there'll be a big old entrance here, maybe. Right. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, maybe something like that. Right. Maybe something a bit bigger. Okay. Yeah. I like it. I like what we're doing here. I don't like this bit very much. Let's change it back to arrays, actually. It's, yeah. Oh. How about? Oh, yeah, I should probably use that. That's okay. We're on arrays now, so we can just go like that. And go, yeah. Make it a bit rougher. Right. We'll be able to clear this block in a moment. It'll be fine. It'll be fine, kids. We can just add some bits back in. Alright, cool. Top. Kind of like this is pretty tight around here. If we think these are on this map, these are probably 10-foot blocks, right? So that's probably like a 3-foot entrance around there. So yeah. Okay. So what would be good with this is if there was also a sketching option to kind of create a layer that do we have opacity of these? We do. next time you come back, I'll probably have done something around that, right? But let's just stick as we are for now. So there will be some troglodytes kind of milling about in here. So if I check troglodytes as a character thingy-majig, if I open it up in here, then I can copy it onto the board. Let's take a look at this. Advanced tomb. Monsters. Ah, even better. Although I would much prefer it if the bookmarks started collapsed. That would be nice. T for troglodyte. S isn't for troglodyte. T, troglodyte. Here we go. Right. Snip. So what I frequently been saying is that they're a bit aggy. A little bit aggro of these lads. Let's just make sure all this is locked so I don't accidentally do anything I regret. Yeah, go away. Oh, that doesn't work. Okay. Delete. You sure? Yes. What I want then is new application capture, window capture, snip capture. Okay, and we will use. This is a question. Does it actually show up in the list? Of course it doesn't, because it isn't actually. Cancel that. Not copy, save as. I don't want to put it in there. I want to put it in. No. Let's put it in here. Assets. Make a new asset folder for this. New folder. The junk. Junk. Save. And then, if I go here, if I close that, and I go to Dungeon Slime, intro, and I go to Dungeon Slime, and we go to assets, assets, junk, troglodytes. So, yeah. Right, stick it in here. Yeah, so this is the troglodyte stat block, and the important thing here is the hateful stat there. So hateful means they attempt to kill any creature that they encounter. So this is unique in the setting, because most this is a lot like skeletons, right? They just immediately come in, try and murder you. That's it. There's no negotiation. There's no nothing. They just decide, right? You're in our lair. We're gonna murder you. We want dinner. So yeah, problems. Don't see a troglodyte run. The other thing, nauseating stench. oils on the skin that have a smell that sickens humans and demi-humans, save versus poison or suffer -2 to hit. Not great. Real pain in the ass. I don't like fighting them. The only thing worse in low level dungeons, as far as I'm concerned, are ghouls. At least that was standard stock monsters that you encounter. Cool. So yeah, that's why the troglodytes are on the bad route. So yeah, if we think about that, there's a possibility of there being troglodytes in here, probably troglodytes in here. Yeah, maybe we still have a cavern coming that way. Okay. And this lot, I think, all has a very kind of squiggly. Oh, I'm on a raise still. Draw. All this has a very kind of rough look to it because it's a cave network, right? It'll feed into the actual dungeon at some point. So this is more of a layer. So there'll be like bones and all that kind of stuff laying around. It'll be all very unpleasant, right? I think it'll be pretty short because, well, we want to get the players into the actual dungeon here and away from the troglodytes, right? Because they're not very exciting as a faction to fight. And I think the opportunity here to make money is either A, looting some bodies, or B, with the bandits, right? Because to reach here, you'll afford the bandits. We'll give them some other like little cubby holes with like a brooding pit or that kind of thing will be. Rarely are other things going to be like wanting to live around the troglodytes because the troglodytes will eat them. That's what troglodytes do. Very much into the eating. Let's have a look. Right, okay. So I like 30 rooms for a dungeon level. On the other hand, Dungeon Scrawl has a bit of a mare when you try and load large dungeons. So figure out exactly what we want to do there. As to whether we actually break the dungeon up into component parts or not. So let's have another one over here. And I like with this, we're getting some of these little kind of mouth formations where I've missed a bit, but I think that's pretty cool. And this whole area is going to be like damp and squalid and just unpleasant, right? There's going to be bones everywhere. There's going to be troglodytes hiding in walls and stuff, waiting to jump out. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think that's enough for the troglodyte area, right? I think we get out of the troglodyte area around here. I think we can also, maybe that's what this, maybe if you we do this and then maybe there's an option here for the party to get out of the troglodyte area a little bit quicker. And in here we might have something else. I want to do a bit of an erase. I want to make this a bit narrower. So I think these will take us out, right? Maybe instead of that, let's get rid of that actually. Maybe it should be a bit more wiggledy wildy. That's going to make it mad, but yeah, there you go. Draw, if we make this more kind of like so. So this room's about 30 foot. Let's make this, one of these a bit bigger. Let's connect the two of these. Connect the two of those so that it isn't just, oh, you've got to walk this way or you've got to go this way, right? So we should have nice options to move about. Cause, I mean, it's a cave network. It's not perfect. They've probably done some digging. It's got a small entrance. So yeah, this kind of feels like the troglodytes area. Make this room a bit bigger, I think. Yeah. And a bit more interesting, right? Make it just a bit more visually interesting. Like so, right? The main, an entrance, a cave where they can live. So they don't really set up bedding or anything like that. They're just like at one with nature. They're more kind of like a beast than they are like goblins or something. So they're not big into for traps. They kind of live here. They go out. They raid the local area. They come back. They eat, right? Or they go into the dungeon and they raid the area and they eat. So yeah, and that's been about an hour and 23 minutes. So well, that was fun. It was for me anyway. And yeah, I'm gonna save this. I've currently got unsaved changes. We want save. And I'm just going to hide this whilst I save it. You never know what it's going to do. Right. Okay. Sorry, I went quiet there for a moment. I just wanted to see how long things took between. Yeah, save. So this will be Dungeon Slime's first floor of the first dungeon. And I'm going to save it all my other stuff so that it doesn't get lost, so that we can come back to it and we can all have lots of fun. Let me save new folder adventures. Yes, we like adventures. Adventures. Cheers. I don't think that's how you spell adventures again, but anyway. Folder. Let's put the date in so that we don't lose it. 2023 0709. First dungeon. Right, and we will save this. And we will save the adventure file, save as, in the same location. Dungeon Slime adventures here. save. Cool. So that's all saved. Well, thank you everybody. I've had a wonderful time. Hope you all have a good time as well. And anyone watching this in the future, I hope you're having a good time. And yeah, let's see how that all goes. Farewell.